On this Byron Lazine podcast, I have Taya Dicarlo back to respond to all the TikTok comments, the trolls, the haters, and the good comments. The broke agent crashes the pod. You do not want to miss her reaction to these comments. All right, we never do this, but we've got Taya Dicarlo back on the Byron Lazine podcast, like 2 months after we had you, right?
Why is it? Because I'm so controversial?
Well, we've got to dig into all these TikTok comments. Eric, the broke agent.
Yes.
Welcome to the podcast.
It's a pleasure to be on this. Very excited. We had a great night last night.
Oh, incredible. Mastros does a great job.
You see me sucking down a blue Gatorade. You know why.
Yeah, we had a great night.
It's not that there's just a lot of natural light in here. It's that Eric is suffering.
Yeah, that's why he's got the glasses on.
I wish I brought my glasses.
Puffy eyes.
Yeah. That way I don't have to look anybody in the eyes, you know?
Well, Taya's going to have to look us in the eyes and respond to these TikTok comments. So
let it be known I'm actually a little nervous about this.
Well, if you did not listen to Taya's or watch on YouTube, Taya's first podcast with me, I thought it was a great pod. We had a great discussion. I actually
thought I went, uh-oh.
Is that the call?
Please.
Is it the call?
I don't know.
Taya's expecting a huge call right now.
Hello, this is Taya.
Put it on speaker. Speakerphone.
It's spam.
Oh, it's spam.
God,
that was such a...
I get like 50 of those.
Taya will be answering phone calls on this podcast because you're waiting for a huge offer?
Yes. My clients who have written countless offers were one of 20 offers. We offered almost $500,000 over the list price. And we're going to find out today if that was enough.
And Taya's literally, if you're just listening, she's shaking right now.
I am.
I as she described the offer.
Yeah.
She is so nervous for her clients.
I am. I care. I'm really invested in this one.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to have to make that call.
Yeah, that every realtor
call.
dreads.
But we'll hear the agent to agent call right here on the podcast if it comes through before we finish up. But let's jump into these TikTok comments. So wanted to have you back on so we could react to the TikTok comments from the clips of your first podcast. Yes. 3 of the clips went over 1 million views. 2 of them actually went over 1 million views. So it's like, I don't know, 1.5 million views out of these 3 clips almost. Let's start with the first one, Taya.
Okay.
All right. So this particular clip was about an agent who was not in the MLS, and this happens all the time, who wasn't giving good numbers on an investment property, had no pro forma.
They put no numbers.
They put no numbers,
like
basically.
Just dash marks on an investment property.
That's right. And so some of these comments are hilarious. There was over 20,000 likes. There was hundreds of comments. This one particular comment had 682 hearts on TikTok. Oh, no. All right. I'll read it to you and then you guys can both react.
682 other haters.
Right.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing, right? So I like to 22,000 plus likes on the video. So there's 22,000 people that were very appreciative, but maybe didn't write a comment. So you've got a lot of fans out there. Okay.
Okay.
And here's the first comment. Karen vibes. She doesn't understand that some of these people paying below market price might be families with no additional resources. At the time you commented back, Taya, no one said raise the rent. You're adding your own narrative. We are talking numbers, not eviction. XOXO. Karen, in parentheses, whose family rented for 20 years. You were referring to?
My mom.
Your mom.
My mom rented the same house that I grew up in for 20 years as a single mom. She had filed for bankruptcy and we lived paycheck to paycheck growing up. And so that comment really hit me because I felt it's so funny. Like on TikTok, you have these little snippets. Things are taken out of context, right? Yeah. And even though nothing in that video, that clip or the longer podcast ever talked about encouraging landlords to evict tenants, people hear the word tenant and I don't know, they see a blonde white woman talking with blue eyes talking about
sparkling blue eyes.
Thank you very much. Yes. But they immediately go to this woman is all about the almighty dollar, kicking people out and being heartless and ruthless, when really all I was talking about was the fact that realtors are lazy.
That's really
and
all.
Don't put the numbers in there. So I just thought it was really funny and weird that people just they come.
Should we listen to these clips so people get the full context?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Let's do that. That way, if you don't know the clip, you can actually understand exactly what was said.
Wait a minute, these are not vacant properties. There's no way these are vacant properties. So then I go in and I start researching. I'm like, pick up the phone.
Into
I'd
the
be like,
MLS.
hey, Joe, calling about this property. Is it occupied? Yeah. Okay. Are they long-term tenants? Yeah, they're long-term tenants. Okay, what are they paying? Oh, they're paying like $800 a month. Okay, why are you not posting this on the MLS? And if you're embarrassed by those numbers, then post the pro forma and write huge upside opportunity. You just have to inherit these tenants that are paying below market
They got
rent.
the listing, they don't want to pitch the deal.
And I'm like, how are these agents getting these listings? They should be fired and I should be hired. Wait a minute.
That was a great close there. And
Thank you.
You're talking about another agent, so this is where we're digging into these comments because they're just totally out of context.
Well,
the comments are out of context off of the clip.
Well, because people, I think, have like a trauma response when they hear like certain buzzwords. And I think if they listen to it again, they would understand that it's like, look, just because someone's paying below market rent, they're in California, you could be a protected tenant where we do have rent control, where you inherit a tenant who's paying below market rent. They're not going to get evicted. They may be Section 8. The government may be paying for their rent every month, which for some investors is a great thing. You know why? Because now they know they're going to get the rent every single month.
Every month.
I have some investor clients who love getting properties with Section 8 tenants.
Yeah. Oh, some people build their whole business around it.
Yes.
And they only want to do
Yes.
investments that would qualify for
Yeah, so
Section
people
8.
are so ignorant. I mean, like for a while there, I will admit, after we did our podcast, I spent the weekend like chirping back at people. And then I was like ferociously like, "Arr." And then I thought, you know what, Taya? First of all, you can never please a mob.
No.
Right. And I'm not here to win over everybody. Like, I think that at the end of the day on social media, if you know what your intention is and you know at the end of the day you're a good person, like you're never going to convince everybody to like you. And I think that that's very human of us to want everyone to like us. But really,
I love TikTok because of this. Like, I love the wild commentary on TikTok.
there are more. We're just getting started.
Yeah, there's more on these clips. And there's plenty on my clips too. So I'm not. This isn't just like
the wild commentary on TikTok is because people feel way more free to comment on an algorithm that just feeds them posts as opposed to Instagram. It's your audience that's way more engaging, right? Like you recognize your followers, so they're less likely to comment and talk shit to you because
you don't get this on
TikTok,
Instagram.
you get a random profile fed to you, so you feel more. You have that freedom where it's like I'm gonna talk crap to it right now.
Yeah, you don't get this kind of wild commentary on Instagram ever.
You recognize your followers. On TikTok, you have no idea.
Well, and I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like TikTok will feed you stuff that maybe isn't necessarily something you like. It maybe is the opposite.
They want to trigger you.
They want to trigger you.
Yeah.
They want to get the engagement. I think actually
Eric
TikTok
only
does
sees
a good
golf
job.
and women.
Yeah, well, I made that on the Tom Ferry podcast. I made that statement. Extremely embarrassing, but that's all I see. I see boobs and 3 irons. It's fantastic. It's great.
3 woods. Eric has the sickest 3 wood in the game.
Yeah,
if you're a golfer,
it's
you
a
know what
weapon.
that is. All right. Here's another one. Yeah, realtors shouldn't be a thing anyway. Taya responds, nah. Lazy and careless people shouldn't be posing as professionals. Wink.
Bazing.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
The wink is a very subtle way
Yeah.
to
Say,
And
keep the
and was it
commenters
an
at bay.
get screwed, pal.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, is it the
This
call?
is it, please.
This is the call?
I don't
Taya's
know,
awaiting
but
a
we're
huge,
gonna answer it.
over-ask
Hello, this
offer.
is Taya.
Oh, it sounds like a.
I'm actually in the middle of a podcast recording right now. Can I call you back in like an hour?
Is it a lead?
Thank you.
You can stop for a lead.
Okay, bye.
Was that a lead, Taya? No.
I think it was just a realtor calling to pick my brain about social media.
Taya, can I pick
Actually?
your brain?
No, yeah, seriously.
Oh, that's incredible.
That's
You
awesome.
should be a social media consultant also.
Yeah.
I should charge for this shit.
Yeah. Well, we should charge for this.
All right, bring
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
This is our new business. Yeah.
New
That's part of BAM also, social media consulting.
Venmo Eric Simon now, immediately, please.
Yes. Eric Simon 1. Eric Simon dash
Okay.
1.
Dash 1.
Specific,
Underscore.
yes.
A lot of Eric Simons out there.
Yeah, there are.
There's only one Clickstein.
Dr. Clickstein.
Dr.
Oh my
Clickstein.
God.
That is Eric. All right. Here's another one. The whole real estate industry is a huge mess. A lot of realtors getting free listings are not supposed to be with realtors. That one got like all these hearts and I don't even understand what they're saying.
It's incomprehensible.
It is
It doesn't
incomprehensible.
make
Yeah.
any sense.
And I'm reading it the right way.
Maybe they should like not hit the bong before they start commenting.
Let's see here. What are some of the good ones on this particular clip?
The realtors shouldn't be a thing is a very popular comment
Yes.
on TikTok.
It's
Even
all
on,
over the
even on
place.
my posts
Mhm.
where I actually
Here's one from user 2612256692796. It's literally their TikTok handle. And this user says, apparently this woman has never heard of landlords thinking of having decent people in the community. This woman is shameful! Exclamation.
And how many people liked that?
You said 2 people like that. 2 people
Fuck
like
those 2 people.
User,
this woman is shameful. Is
user 2
absolutely
trillion
ruthless.
and other number
I am
nonsense here.
shameful.
Yeah.
Last
you're
night I was
Shameful.
very ashamed.
Yes. Well,
God damn it.
You
guys.
actually responded to this.
I'm not answering.
They don't even have a profile. Is that? It's
No,
not the
it was
guy?
my brother.
It's not the guy. Okay.
Yeah.
You're listening through a filter. Not once did I even imply evicting tenants. I'm discussing realtors not disclosing numbers. That's it. Listen again, and that's what we're talking about. The MLS and not putting out good information on the MLS so that the agents looking at these investments for their investors are guessing literally what the numbers would be. So, so you should make the long-term tenants homeless. All right. That's like a reoccurring theme in here. Listen to this comment here.
Oh boy.
This one got 3 hearts. This fake Glenda Baker, ain't it?
Oh man.
I actually love these. I love
them too.
these.
And we're
'cause-
friends with Glenda.
Yeah,
by the way.
we
All
love
3 of us are
Glenda.
friends
And
with
that's
Glenda.
why whenever that happens, I tag Glenda.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you
you know,
tagged her in it.
yeah, I said Glenda and I are actually good friends. But you know what's
And
really
he wrote
funny?
IRL in real life.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine in
IRL.
real life.
Yeah. But I think it's funny that even though the world has gotten, because of social media, right? There's globalization of us being social with one another. So even though Glenda and I live thousands and thousands of miles apart, and we are 2 different generations. Like she's in her 50s. Sorry, Glenda. But like,
Uh-oh.
and I'm no,
Clipping
but I'm
this one
saying
out.
she openly talks about how
Yeah,
old
she
she is, right? Like I'm 39.
Yeah.
And I'm from a different generation, right? Like we have blonde hair, but like she's, a successful woman in the South selling real estate in Atlanta, Georgia.
You don't have that accent.
And I'm in Los Angeles. Like we can both provide value to people who follow us online and still not be ripping off each other just because.
Is there a little rivalry there, possibly?
That's what's so funny. If
I feel
there
like
is,
people think there is.
people think there is,
Yeah.
and I think that it's non-existent. I mean, if anything, we inspire one another. And I've been doing video for my business since 2015. And prior to that, I was a TV host. So like video and my business go hand in hand and have for years.
That same day that we did the podcast that right now we're reacting to these TikTok comments from, I did a podcast with Glenda. I put up a couple of clips on TikTok and Instagram of the podcast with Glenda. On TikTok, one of the comments was, "You're stealing Glenda's content." And it's literally me and her sitting across from each other having a discussion.
What?
And I'm like,
Glenda's got
I'm in the
loyal
video.
audience.
Yeah.
I'm in the video, bud. And she's a
has-
friend of mine. I wrote, and it's just hilarious. Like, but her fan base, I think she calls them the
Glitterati's
the
or something.
Glitterati's or the Glenderatis, something like that. And they are passionate.
Yes.
They are in love with her, as they
Yeah.
should be. I'm in love with her too.
Yeah,
but,
Glenda's amazing.
It's great.
So by huge upside, you mean find a reason to evict them so you can jack up the rent. Those are people, not numbers. Taya, those are people
Yes.
out there. Okay. Let's see. You want to go to another clip?
Sure.
Do you get any of these on Instagram?
The
Any
haters?
any negative
I
comments?
don't really get any negative vibes on Instagram. In fact, I
Well, I want you to-
encourage negative comments. Like every time I do a Taya's 2 cents, I say, if you disagree with me, please comment below. Let's get a
I
conversation
love it.
going.
I love the conversation. Listen, go ahead and fill up my TikTok any time with these kind of comments. Please keep them.
He's begging for engagement here.
keep
You
them
better be
coming.
careful what you ask
I'm
for.
totally okay with this. And it is actually giving us great content right now. So thank you. Here's one that got 10 hearts. It's got like an NFT photo for their Carfugian, Carfugian is the
Okay.
handle. Anyways, you didn't reply to this one. I did. 10 people like this. So 10 people think that this is actually true. Realtors aren't allowed to put financial information into the MLS other than general terms like great opportunity, etc.
No.
We can't, would not, and it would not. I don't know. He
You
can't.
guys are illiterate also.
The last part's illiterate. So this person is saying that we can't put financial information into the MLS. and you can only put generic terms like great opportunity. I just commented one word, incorrect, because you're a moron. You don't even know what you're talking about, and 10 people hearted that and think that that's accurate information.
It's scary how much ignorance is out there.
But that people think that that is like legit. All right, let's go to the next clip. We're gonna be talking.
And are
about,
these clips posted to your TikTok or to Taya's?
To his.
These are on Byron Lazine TikTok.
Got it.
So you can go read them all if you want.
And just so you guys know, I mean, when these comments started rolling in, at first I was like, haha, this is kind of cool. And then I was like, I think I'm going to go cry. And then I was like, I'm going to fight back. And then I'm not kidding you. I got off of TikTok for like a week. I deleted the app from my phone so I wouldn't be triggered.
Because of my podcast?
So these are affecting
just because
you.
of those comments. Yeah, because
Well,
people were so vicious.
Taya, you can't worry about this
No,
stuff.
but I think this is important for us to talk about on your podcast,
Yeah,
because I
definitely.
think that you know, even those of us with really strong self-esteem, like
Yeah.
I have a great head on my shoulders. I'm confident, but I'm also humble, and I'm a human being, and I don't mind putting myself out there to be vulnerable. And every once in a while, it will get to you. And I
Wow.
think it's okay to unplug and to go, I need
Definitely.
to take a detox from social media and then come back in with a fresh head, because you will go down this rabbit hole. It's a slippery slope, especially when people, it's not just a comment. There were people who started making their own videos. They would
reacting to
they
this?
were
Yeah,
taking
I didn't see those.
little snippets, even more out of context, and then going off on an entirely different tangent that was so like mean.
Where they would play the clip and then they'd respond or whatever. Yeah.
Yes. And
I
I
didn't
was
see
like,
those.
I'm out. I was like, I need to detox for a little bit, but I'm back.
Taya's
Back
back.
with vengeance.
And you're back on TikTok.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
All right,
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to hear you say that. I know you when you texted me that weekend or whenever the
It was
clips went
Super
up.
Bowl weekend.
It was Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I probably gave it.
Because I told
Even less
this
consideration.
I told this chick to get a life. I'm like, don't you have something else better to do than to like make a video about?
Well, you're like
Right.
everybody hates me. I'm like, no, there's a lot of people that love you out there because there was good comments as well, and there was a lot of people liking it. And here's the thing: the 22,000 people that liked that clip, just when they have a good reaction to something, they're less likely to make the comment on
Totally.
TikTok,
Yeah.
on TikTok specifically, than if they have the bad reaction. So
Yeah.
those, a few hundred comments, those were the bad reactions, but thousands and thousands of people
Liked it.
had the good reaction. They just didn't share the comment, potentially, right?
Yeah.
So I don't worry about the stuff at all, but I would agree that there's probably a lot of people that do take it to heart. I look at it as
Yeah.
like a game, and I think it's hilarious, and,
And
I
it's
love it.
And it's a growth opportunity too. I actually think it's a fun social experiment to engage with people online like that. Because every once in a while you'll find some really intelligent, like witty, funny things.
Yeah, the clapbacks, to get more likes on a clapback too,
Yeah.
that like ingratiates you more with your audience too, where they see more of your personality.
Yeah.
Like my TikTok, when I respond to people, I'm just always kind of talking shit, just being funny, saying the dumbest things possible.
Yeah.
And it's so different than my Instagram comment backs. And people, like one guy said, like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing because of my comment backs on TikTok. So like they got more of my personality out of it.
I like that.
Yeah.
And really intelligent people. This is going to sound pretty
Say it.
bad, I guess. to say,
Right,
but,
right,
but
yeah.
people that, especially in our industry, real estate, and know what the heck they're talking about, whatever you want to say. When they see that clip and they see the comments, they know what is what. Like
Yeah.
they're not worried about these bad comments. It's not taking anything away from you. It's actually adding,
Totally.
I think, that hey, she's brilliant. She knows what she's talking about. She's really good at investment real estate. The people that know what they're doing, right?
You're also covering
Absolutely.
a topic people
Yeah.
care about too. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's why they're responding to
Here's
it.
one that
Right.
people care about. Let's listen to the clip and then we'll
Oh,
get
boy.
into the reactions.
Oh my God.
If you look at the sheer numbers of what's going on in LA, I'll
This
tell
is
you
the
what
one.
mass exodus is. Venice and Santa Monica, because of the homeless issue. It is a real thing. Like I have a client right now. We just wrote an offer for $3 million, just under $3 million in Palos Verdes. So my client is leaving Malibu, Santa Monica area.
Yeah.
He's also owned property up in the Bay Area, like Sonoma, owns a lot of real estate, right? And he's like, I got to get out of Santa Monica, like Marina Del Rey. Almost like there's this scary urgency. If you look at the sheer
Okay,
numbers
so-
of
People got mad about this, first of all.
And this one, Taya, got 684,000 views, another 25,000 likes, 2,500 comments.
Yeah. So I will say this, because this was a much longer clip that was like cut down, right?
Yes. It was a big discussion. It was a big segment.
Exactly. And so I think that people who live in California are like, wait a minute, she's talking about all these different neighborhoods. Like she doesn't know what she's talking about. I think that it was also confusing for people listening because this particular client owns like 7 properties in different parts of LA, right? Yeah. And different parts of the Bay Area. I'm from the Bay Area. I know that like Sonoma is in wine country. It's
and I had to go into the comments and say, go listen to the whole segment. We're talking, we can't put 15 minutes on TikTok, but we're talking about all these.
We can give a geography lesson later. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I think what people were very much upset about was saying the word mass exodus. They wanted me, and I will say this.
I asked the question. I said, is there a mass exodus coming out of California?
Right. And I think what people need to understand is that a exaggeration? Yeah. Like mass exodus is a big exaggeration, right? However, what I want people to know is, even though, and we said this in the longer podcast, even though a lot of people have left Santa Monica, have left parts of LA, the values have still gone up. Why? Because there's still a lot of demand, and California as a whole has a housing shortage.
That's right.
Right? So does the mass exodus equal lower prices? No. Are there more people leaving California
than any other state? Yes, that's a fact.
That's a fact. Yeah. There are a lot of people leaving California for a lot of different reasons, whether it be for taxes, right? Or maybe job now because of COVID, they can go work everywhere. A more affordable home. Yeah, or more affordable home. There's a lot of people who are like, I get a lot more bang for my buck. In fact, we know so many realtors across the country who are like, no more Californians. Like I just did a video on TikTok that got a lot of views in on Instagram, like joking around about how, I would never move to Phoenix. And then all of a sudden, they sell their home in California.
Eric's in that situation. Eric lives here in LA County, and he's looking at homes in San Diego, but also looking in Arizona because, can work from anywhere and the affordability, right?
And golf.
Yeah, and golf. And
golf's
exactly.
fantastic.
And it's 100 degrees. I could tan all day. It's perfect. I just want to get the hell out of here.
So you're not alone in what you said here when you speak to luxury agents in California or any agent. They're sharing this, especially in LA.
Yeah.
This sentiment. I just had John Grommet on the podcast.
Yeah, he's great.
And he said literally almost the same thing. So we'll see how his clip goes.
Oh, they're going to get ready, John.
But,
they're going to come for you.
I mean, here's one just totally, this is where people go. They go right to politics. Taya Dicarlo definitely voted for Trump. Do you want to confirm that?
Yeah, confirm or deny.
Well, here's the thing. I will say this. I don't like to get political on any of my social pages, but if anyone is interested, no, I did not vote for Trump. But I think it's hysterical that people think that they can typecast me because I'm a white woman with blonde hair.
Yeah, totally. And you didn't even touch the politics, and your credit to you, your comment.
Yeah.
I feel awful for homeless people and don't have a solution, but it's a fact. It's become an out of control problem in LA. Safety and sanitary issues. And when you talk to an agent that's from California, that's their number one issue with California right now. Not that there's 1% of the population left last year or anything like that. It is the safety because they have families here.
Yeah, for example, look, my heart can break seeing homeless people in the streets. It's awful. It is so depressing, and I really wish I had an answer for it. I also at the same time can feel fear when I have my 7-year-old son who likes to skateboard, and I take him to the skate park in Westchester, and there's a tent city adjacent to the skate park where a man is defecating on the grass and wiping himself in front of young children. Like,
Bobby, we have a bathroom in the hotel.
That is like, do you know what I mean? That is awful. It's extremely sad. And there's also an uptick in crime in some places, in places like Brentwood.
Yeah, there's a tent city right outside of my apartment.
Right, where there used to never be violent crime. And there's violent crime now. So look, I think what people need to understand, we don't need to go down this big rabbit hole of realtors have no compassion or humanity. It's like, yes, we do. But you can also at the same time be cognizant of an uptick in crime and sanitary stuff.
Like we said, that it's a fact that out of the 50 states, California happens to have the most migration out. That is a fact. You can check the numbers. Another fact is they also have the most homeless people. So that's just it's not saying something bad. It's just identifying the data.
And also, ironically, we also have some of the highest prices per square foot for homes.
And it's the 5th largest economy in the world.
Yeah, so it's not saying
it's worth
one or
saving.
the other.
You know, it's worth making
Absolutely.
sure it doesn't continue down this path.
People
And
still, but here's what I want
the
people
weather
to
is
understand.
intoxicating. It's just incredible. So we need
The
to
weather is
save
wonderful,
California.
but I think that what people need to know as well from this clip, and they came at me for this, it's like, look, I still love Santa Monica. We just partied there last night. I love LA. I love California. I'm never leaving. And a lot of people still want to be here, even though there are a lot of people leaving California. California is still one of the most beautiful places to live in the world.
How about
in
this
my opinion.
comment, which got 175 hearts?
Oh boy.
I replied to it, and you did not reply to it. So maybe you'll be hearing it for the first time.
Oh no.
You're gonna put her down a
You're gonna
spiral
make me
here.
cry?
No. This one's not directed towards you. Well, you say
Kind of.
cap. It says cap, like the cool kids say,
Right.
which means, do you know what cap means?
No.
It means like BS. All right, so
You've never heard no cap?
No.
When people say something, they're like, oh, no cap.
Shit, I'm old.
Yeah.
Is that how you know you're old?
So cap, no one is selling their multi-million-dollar properties because of homeless. They're selling it because they want the multi-million-dollar sale. And I said to buy another multi-million-dollar piece of real estate, which could, by the way, be somewhere else where there's less homeless people. People have moved out of California and sold their multi-million-dollar house for a reason, right?
Mhm.
And there's plenty of big names, Joe Rogan, Ben Shapiro, that you can point to that identified. You can laugh.
This is not a political podcast.
This is not a political
Taya, what are your
podcast.
thoughts on abortion?
Oh my God. I don't want to talk about anything.
No.
Oh, okay, you don't?
controversial.
Got it.
You know, obviously,
What's your
those
stance
those
on-
two,
Oh my God.
those are big names, so you can throw them out
How
there.
would you handle immigration?
Oh my
specifically?
God.
That's
Eric
really what
wants
we
me to
wanna
never
get
sell a house again.
But those are the reasons that they identified as why they left California, right?
Well, and
so,
look-
so this person saying that's cap, it isn't like they have their head in the sand.
Well, and here's the other thing, guys. In a fucking less than 30-second clip, you really think that I'm going to put my, I'm going to draw a line in the sand and say, this is the only reason why people are leaving California, please. Like, yes, that is a major exaggeration. People are leaving California because, yes, they can capitalize on a really hot market, right? Number one. Or maybe there's a tax advantage in a different state. Or maybe any of the other reasons that people leave during the pandemic because they can get more bang for their buck. They can work remotely. They don't have to commute to work anymore. And maybe there's an uptick in crime in where they're at and they don't want to be there anymore. So it could be one, many, or all.
Here's somebody. There's 2,500 comments, so there's some good ones
my
too.
God.
There's some good ones. I mean, here's a good one. People in the comments are really missing the point, and they were throughout
Yeah.
this entire clip.
Yeah.
A lot of them were missing. I mean, there's some that I couldn't even read, like that one.
He's going to scroll over some juicy
I'm gonna scroll. Well, you guys can go read these.
What are the ones that you can't read?
Oh,
Read them.
God.
They say
all right.
curse words or something?
No, I mean
I got called Karen a lot.
Yeah.
that's what the rich gets for gentrifying Venice and Santa Monica to begin with. So there you go. There's no comment on that. She's insane.
I like that one.
I live
That's
in
funny.
West LA,
She's insane.
and there is a major shortage of housing here because everyone wants to live here. Yeah, we never said that there wasn't an inventory issue.
She's insane.
I'm
It's just
insane.
But the fact that, again, there is a number one state for migration outbound, and it is California. It happens to be a fact, which would make
Well, and we talked
make you
about
not
that.
insane.
But in Byron, that we talked about that. We said, look, yes, there are more people leaving California
we did.
right now than ever before. And guess what? I think I even said this on the podcast. I'm like, yeah, but not enough. There's not enough people
you did
leaving.
say that, and that is in another clip
Yes,
that I
I'm
posted.
like-
and by the way,
Yeah.
that clip didn't perform that
Oh,
well.
isn't that weird?
Yeah,
They
that
just
clip-
want to make me wrong.
Did
They
you guys
want me
see
to
a
be
huge-
crazy and insane?
It performed,
Exactly.
but just not to the level of this.
Did you see a huge bump in podcast views after these viral clips?
Yeah, the podcast views went up. Also, just like overall following on TikTok, obviously
Yeah.
went way up thanks to your
Yeah.
viral moments. TikTok.
Thanks to Karen over
I'll
here.
tell you
Yeah.
You're insane Karen.
Insane Karen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane shameless Karen.
Oh God, I just need all this.
Insane
zingers.
right wing.
I think I even
shameless
responded
Karen.
back to one person like, yeah, Karen with a C because I care.
The Karen
Assholes.
insult's kind of lost its touch. I think
has.
that was
It's
kind of
jumped the shark.
popular and
Yeah,
right,
it's-
like March 2020ish. is
you
kinda
actually
when it
look like a
started.
loser now when you.
I
do that.
really like
Yeah,
it when
saying
people.
Karen is.
I like
yeah.
it when people call somebody Patricia.
I've never
Hey,
heard that one
Patricia.
before.
There's a guy on TikTok. I'll send you the
I mean,
clip.
there's a whole bunch of these comments. Sonoma's not by the Bay Area, which we already covered that.
Like, no shit, Sherlock.
People are idiots. But that's the if people are this passionate to read the comment, because more people should have went to your question. More people should have went and watched the YouTube link. If they're that passionate to make a comment, go watch. That segment of the podcast.
Yeah, but they're lazy, Byron. Like people go on TikTok for a few reasons.
Boobs in 3 words.
Or they want to laugh, right? They
Yeah.
want to laugh, or they want an outlet to let their rage out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it doesn't matter who it is or what they're saying. Like, a lot of people really are seeking it out. They're waiting to be triggered, and they
Twitter's
want to
like
engage.
that too. Twitter is a bloodbath compared to all these apps.
People
I think.
project their anxiety and their
Mm-hmm.
anger.
There is so much anger in here against rich people or wealthy people. So sorry for the millionaires to have to look at homeless people. Must be really tough. Wow, I feel so sorry for these rich people who have to flee their neighborhoods to avoid the homeless. We should organize a relief effort for them. Just don't care about first world rich people problems at all. I mean, just not caring about this stuff, which is fine. I don't understand that mindset of just hating on. We're not even going to go down that path, but all right. So that do you want to do more on this one? Or we go to the next clip.
We
got another clip.
Yeah.
Let's go to another clip here. This is
Taya's thinking about this call.
Ted has not called yet.
multifamily investing in California. Is the
Oh boy, people really
clip.
they came at me.
The novice investor
Mhm.
doesn't understand that you cannot have appreciation and cash flow at the same time.
Well, because they were listening to bigger pockets and they want both.
They want, of course you do. Like, who doesn't want a unicorn?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you had a crystal ball, you're like, oh my God, the market really increased because Tesla moved their company here and did it. And before you know it, look, we've got appreciation and cash flow. Well, look, that was a happy accident. But vast majority of the time, someone who's buying a multi-unit, like an 8-unit building in Beverly Hills, is not looking for cash flow. They're looking for a secure place to park their money, and they're banking on appreciation.
and that's the part that people missed.
Yeah.
They just completely glossed over you saying in Beverly Hills.
In Beverly
We
Hills.
were having a discussion, and we said it in the clip, about real estate in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
You cannot find a property in Beverly Hills
cash flows.
that's going to give you both cash flow and appreciation. You're probably, to your point, just not going to find cash flow. You're only banking on appreciation, and you're holding it for the long term.
That's right.
You're 100% correct. I made the little comment about bigger pockets. Bigger pockets would say the same thing.
Yeah.
My point when I said that, because I got a little bit of,
People really got fired up over
I got
this.
people fired up saying bigger pockets help so many people. They do. They're the number one investing podcast.
Right.
They're brilliant when it comes to investing in real estate. My point, what I was saying there, was that people will listen to one, podcast on bigger pockets, then they'll see a Grant Cardone clip, and all of a sudden they're going to go out and find this deal that's they're going to get the cash flow hat, and it's going to appreciate
That
in 2
hat's
years,
ridiculous.
and they're going to
Right.
flip it and buy 1,000 units after that. And so again, people aren't doing their homework.
Right. And here's what I'm talking about. We are in the middle of a very unique time in real estate, right? We've had unprecedented growth over the last 12 years, and no one knows what's going to happen at this point, right? So people in their adult lives have only seen huge appreciation. They don't remember in like 2010 when you couldn't give away a house like north of Montana.
And in the Northeast,
And-
it was 15 years of that.
So that's what I'm saying. So I think that in a normal market, and if you look at the trajectory of real estate in general across the country, you'll see, of course, over time, real estate's a great investment. You're going to have steady appreciation, right? I'm talking about fast appreciation, or excuse me, long-term appreciation. Like when you look at like Beverly Hills, something that's going to hold its value because everybody knows what Beverly Hills is, or beach properties, Hamptons, like certain parts, right? If you are looking at cash flow in LA, so I'm not a realtor outside of California, right? If you're looking for actual cash flow in LA County, you're going to have to go to areas that are maybe not that desirable.
And that aren't
Right?
going to appreciate.
That are not going to appreciate as fast. Maybe that's the word that they wanted to hear, not as fast, right? So maybe it's an area where the price to acquire that property is maybe a $1.5 million property, and it's cash flowing a lot. And in California, by the way, a good cash flow in California, people listening are going to it's going to blow their minds, is not even 5%.
Yeah.
If you find a 5 cap in LA, it's snatched up like that.
The sexy thought for beginner investors and crypto bros to, that want to invest in real estate is that, I'm going to get this property that cash flows, and then it's going to appreciate so fast in 2 years that I'll refi and I'll get all the money out on a non-taxable event. And, they're probably, the better comment I should have made is they're listening to too much Grant Cardone. Maybe not enough, like going deep on bigger pockets. But here's what the laughing _panda on TikTok.
I like that.
Had to say to me.
Listen to Kristen Wiig. She be spitting facts.
Yeah, that would be insane.
Confirm all Grant Cardone facts.
Yeah. I don't listen to Grant Cardone.
No,
I watch this.
Well, it's just that running joke in the.
That's Leonetti's joke.
Yeah. In the
he wants to
broke agent
10x
comments.
everything.
Grant could come at you in the comments. He's known for that.
Yeah, didn't Glenda have a battle with Grant at one point?
If you want to battle with him, this is your opportunity.
I got nothing against the guy. I don't even know what I'd battle him on.
I like him.
Yeah.
I listen to his book.
That clip did pretty good. The Glenda clip where she told the story of battling Grant Cardone.
Yeah, it did.
I thought when she brought it up on the podcast, I'm like, did he sue you? Because he sued Meet Kevin. I don't know if people know who Meet Kevin is. He's a real estate investor, actually in California.
Really?
He's in Ventura.
Byron,
how far is that?
North.
Meet
That's
Kevin.
like
way north, right?
North, yeah.
I love Meet Kevin. Yeah. Anyways, he started off as
He
an
loves
agent, and then he buys a whole bunch of properties, single family, undervalue, and fixes them up, holds them as rentals. He's got a whole bunch of rentals, but during the pandemic, he refied all his properties and went all in on Tesla and made $20 million in a year on Tesla.
Wow.
Yeah. He's got a whole bunch of stuff that he's doing. Anyways, he did a spoof video on Grant Cardone like years ago this is how his YouTube channel actually blew up. He's got, I don't know, a couple million on YouTube.
Okay.
And he went to Grant Cardone's office with, what are those holiday flowers? They're like red. What are those?
Poinsettias.
Poinsettias.
Yeah.
He had truckload of those flowers, and they were like delivering them as a joke after Grant had already given him some type of warning of doing a video on him. He used to do these like reacting to Grant Cardone content on YouTube, and so they got kicked out. Cops were called once they found out it was him bringing all these flowers, and Grant Cardone ended up suing him.
Did he win?
Yeah.
Or they settled probably.
I don't know if I ever followed up with the whole story when the lawsuit was going on, but yeah, there was some kind of, it was just very painful because he had to go, fly from California to Florida and deal with the whole thing, hire an attorney. So it ended up being expensive. Yeah.
Right.
Hopefully, Grant, don't sue me, bro. Please don't sue me.
We like you, Grant.
Yeah, we're big fans. Eric's the biggest fan.
I mean, no, I got nothing on Grant Cardone.
I just like that Eric's still wearing his glasses.
Yeah, exactly. I watched the Grant Cardone versus Wolf of Wall Street debate, basically. And I thought Cardone got really exposed.
Those comments were insane.
Yeah, those comments were insane. But Meet Kevin did a reaction video to that. And it seemed like Grant Cardone was just trying to combat everything that the Wolf was saying. And he just kind of looked like an idiot in that podcast. Did you watch that one?
I believe I watched the reaction that you're talking about because I'm in love with Meet Kevin.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Taya, did you get the deal? Are you getting the text message? Taya, did it fall apart? You're not going to start?
No, I don't know. So that I just need to. No, he is not.
It's not a part. All right. Taya's waiting for a huge deal.
For a response.
God, guys, I hope I don't cry on camera.
Well, we're hoping we get the call here.
God, that's
while
why
we're
I
on
keep looking
camera.
at my phone. So thank you for bearing with me.
All right. So we could read more comments, but here's just this one only did 5,000 views, and you were just talking about how ultra successful, very positive message. Ultra successful people think. Of course, there was no wild commentary there.
Yeah, the nice stuff nobody ever really wants to engage with.
Yeah, of course. It's got to be controversial.
Well, actually, I take that back. There was that one video where I'm in San Diego, and I was saying something about like stop giving a shit what people think about you, and it got used as a trending sound. That was like my first real viral video on TikTok.
Have you ever thought about creating sounds, like creating TikToks where people could use the sound? That's like a whole new way that we should start looking at doing content.
Absolutely.
Is being like, I got to make something that's 10, 15 seconds that people could just use the sound, because that'll make your videos.
Even a
one of Matt
voiceover.
Leonetti's is everybody's taking it right now on TikTok.
People are doing like an entire Leonetti skit. It's awesome,
Really?
like 20, 30 seconds of it. But I want to try to come up with stuff that realtors could use as trending audio. I think that's
Let's
a
do
real
that
good.
today.
Yeah, I think that's a real good route for content. No one's really thinking
You could
like
literally do that here today.
Yeah.
Here's
I love it.
I'll play the Leonetti one. I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. This is Matt Leonetti,
I
the
love
goat
Matt.
of humorous videos.
We need a 5,000 square foot home with at least 6 bedrooms. Our budget is $200,000, no exceptions.
All right, let me just check the inventory real quick.
If you can't find it, we'll get an agent who can.
I certainly won't want that. Damn, they've all sold.
What? When?
In 1983, Cheryl. They sold in 1983.
It's great.
Have a nice life.
So, I hear that all the time, and like, you know, if I'm just on TikTok screwing around, it'll pop up in my feed, and it's not Matt, it's other people using that. I'm like, what's going on? Is that Leonetti's voice? And
I
then like
love
after the
that.
third time, I'm like, oh, I see what's going on here. So you can click on the sound. Obviously, you guys know this. I'm telling you anything you don't know. On TikTok, you can click on the sound, and you can go see how many other people have posted that video. And there's just a ton of real estate agents using that
Yeah.
Leonetti clip.
Well, and if you do have an original sound, I like highly recommend that you go in and you name your sound.
Mhm.
So then that way people know exactly what it is.
Like
or
the realtor rant or something
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I like that Leonetti used Cheryl instead of Karen.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Very
was,
because he
strategic.
knows.
Yeah. He knows it's out of fashion.
that was a good 1983 Cheryl.
La da 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 da.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an agent and you're dealing with those buyers that want to make offers, what do you do actually? If you got a buyer who just wants to continuously make under ask offers, do you just get rid of them?
I've broken up with clients before like that. Yeah. I think that I think it's all about when you meet someone who wants to do business with you, I do like a buyer interview and I sit them down and I say, look, the people who work with me, like get ready to find the place. My goal is not to work with you for the next 6 months. I want to work with you for like the next 90 days. I want to make sure we're writing to win. Like there's nothing
Play to
worse
win.
than when a buyer's like, I mean, let's just see what happens, you know?
Yeah.
Let's just give them lists.
Don't you have to condition them sometimes though? And
Yeah, you
and-
gotta let them lose a couple times.
Right, exactly.
You're like, sure, you know, maybe this one we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And then the next, like this one, we came to win.
Yeah.
We didn't even come to play. We came
the
to
call
win.
you're waiting on.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why it's going to be so heartbreaking. You
Well,
meet
yeah, because I told
20
them
offers. You were
20 offers. We're in the top 2 right now. We know that like we were the top out the gate.
Yeah.
And so we know that we did an escalation clause, which some people poo-poo. But
if you want
I
it,
gave a
you do
courtesy
everything you
call
can.
to the agent, and the agent said, I will absolutely entertain that.
Who poo-poos it? You're saying listing agents poo-poo it?
Yes, a lot of
Because they want you to just go to the top.
Well, because it's considered a strong arm move, right? We actually talked about this on Clubhouse back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back in the
Clubhouse
day,
was
like a
yesterday,
year, right?
A year ago?
A
Clubhouse
year
has been dead
ago.
for a year.
It's been dead for a while, but I remember it got people really
People
lit
disagree with
when
it,
I
yeah.
said that doing an escalation clause can be seen as a strong arm move, right? So if the list price is, say, $2 million, and I'm like, okay, well, here's $2 million or, you know, $10,000 higher than your highest offer with no cap. That's a dick move.
No cap.
I'm sorry. Like
No cap.
you in order to do it properly, if you know that they have 20 offers in hand and it's listed at 2 million, maybe you offer, you know, 2.1 or 2.2 based on all that competition. You go, I will give you $2.2 million or 25 grand over your highest bona fide offer, not to exceed 2.4 million. Right? So now you're telling them, I'm going to step up with an over ask offer so you see how serious I am.
Over us podcast.
Yeah. And then over us podcast. And then you give them a cap so you know that they're being serious. They're not just trying to get last look to be like, hey, I want to be the top no matter what. Because what happens if another buyer comes in and goes, I'm going to do an escalation clause too. Well, now those two can cancel each other out.
That's right.
And sometimes the seller will go, well, this person actually offered 2.3. I don't even want to, you know, pardon my French, like dick around with the people with the escalation clauses.
Yeah.
I'd rather go with the person who actually stepped up.
They want it. I'm just going right to them.
Exactly. So sometimes they can backfire.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. In your case, your situation, how 20 offers, how high that one has gotten.
It's going almost $500,000 over list.
Yeah. Now,
It's insane.
was the list price under market value?
No. And this is actually something I talked about recently, saying that you have to, on Taya's 2 cents on my Instagram show,
Check it out.
check it out.
Shout out.
Plugging the show. Hashtag Taya's 2 cents. When you're listing a home, you have to price it on retrospective data.
Yeah.
Right. So you need to look maybe in this hot market because it's moving so quickly, maybe over the last 60 or 90 days, what are the sales? Now,
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
exactly. Because even though this is a hot market, you could really turn people off Like the house we're sitting in right now, I'm not going to tell you what it sold for, but we listed it.
Over ask.
Yeah, it went over ask. But had I priced
What a
it,
genius podcast name, by the way. I just
If I-
nonstop plugs.
if I had priced it at the price we actually got, we wouldn't have had multiple offers. People would have been totally turned off. And everybody knows that if something's overpriced, it's going to sit and then you're going to ultimately have to reduce it.
Yeah. And this place is beautiful. We're sitting in Taya's listing. It's not just her listing. She
Indoor,
designed-
outdoor feel.
Yeah, indoor, outdoor
That's why the
feel.
glasses are on. I feel like I'm
California
outside.
living.
Yeah, we are
Exactly.
literally
It's gorgeous.
right behind the cameras. You've got these beautiful doors that, what are they?
They're La Cantina bifold
La
doors.
Cantina
What?
bifold. There you go. But we're opened up and beautiful backyard. But Taya, you designed this place.
I did not. I won't take credit for designing it.
You
I
picked
worked.
the finishes.
I
You
helped.
did
I helped
something, right?
pick some of the finishes and helped work with the architect and designer on the choices he was going to make. I said, you need to make sure that the floor plan is like this. You absolutely need a bathtub. They weren't going to have a bathtub.
You found the deal. It was, an undervalued fixer-upper property.
Mhm.
Found the deal. Found the investor.
Mhm.
Put all the pieces together. The
Yeah.
architect, everything, and then you listed it and sold it.
Yeah. It was a longer process than normal. It was a 2-year process because of COVID. But yeah, the acquisition price was, less than 900,000. The builders put in about 500,000. And remember, cost of construction tripled over the last 2 years. Think about that.
Yeah.
Right. So they put in 500,000 to rebuild the house. Not even by the way, a flip is when you just change out surfaces, right?
Mhm.
A rebuild, when you take it
You did
down
it
to
all.
the studs. I mean, this is like a brand new house.
It is.
And then we listed it for $1,650,000, got multiple offers, and it is selling significantly over list, over ask.
Over ask podcast.
And it will
I
be
noticed you
setting a
changed
new
your
price
lingo
per
there.
square foot in the neighborhood. Yeah.
No, it's
Congratulations.
Thank
beautiful. Is that
you.
something you enjoy doing? Do you want to do more of that, where you put the whole deal together front to
I
start?
would love to do
Or front
that.
to
But here's my
back?
fear. My fear is that the margins are not going to be what they are now.
Yeah.
In the next few years. I mean, I'm not saying that things are going to cool off, but I think that you can only go so high before you just kind of plateau a little bit. And I mean, if you can't get the house at a low price to make a profit, or not even just make a profit, just like break even,
You
it
like the
doesn't make
finishes
sense.
though? Picking the finishes?
I
Did you get an
love that
extra
part.
spread for that?
No,
You can ask for
no,
an
not
extra
on
one
this
next
one.
time.
Next time, yeah.
Yeah.
This was a past client and a personal friend, so
Give them a freebie. No more freebies.
yeah, no
Taya.
more freebies.
No
I
more
gotta
freebies.
know my worth.
Yeah.
Charge for those calls too. You got some calls you got to make on social media tips.
Yeah, I need to, but I got to decide what I want to do. Right, sell real estate or be like
You could do
social
a
media.
combo.
We'll help you out.
Social
We'll help you
media
out with
maven.
BAM.
Yeah,
Broke Agent-
exactly.
Broke Agent Media. We'll,
Charge $1,000 a
Go.
call.
if you want,
We were already
60
doing that in
seconds
the
with
Discord.
Taya.
We're giving free consultations
right?
nonstop. We
gonna
were
be
doing that in
fun.
Clubhouse too back in the day.
I
That was
know.
like our
back
thing.
in the day, 12
yeah.
months ago.
Yeah.
If we charge
Exactly.
people 2 cents, Taya's 2 cents,
Yeah. Per minute.
2 cents per second to talk to Taya
That's what I mean. Per second.
per second.
Yeah.
I think we could rack up some coin right there.
Absolutely.
Be a line
Yeah.
out the door, anyways. All right. I don't think that call's coming in.
I'm getting a little nervous.
I mean, I think it's eventually going to come in. I just don't think we're going to hit it on the pod. We might have to wrap this thing up.
I know.
Bobby, how you feeling over there? You're not melting down, are you? We hit up Masters pretty hard last
He
night.
He put this mic right here. I can't even see
I
Taya.
know.
What am I doing? I've been
All
like
right.
jolting back
bud.
and forth.
How do we want to wrap this up?
Well, are there any other controversial things you wanted to talk
No,
about?
is there anything else I could? Yeah, do we have enough viral clips out of this podcast?
Any other
Bobby?
political opinions?
You think so?
Do we want to express?
Who are you
Yeah.
voting for in the midterms,
Oh
Taya?
my God,
No,
this sounds like
we're not. do I ask out of bounds questions?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, I think on our next talk, we could talk about, I don't even know if I should say it.
How you got catfished?
The dating world. Yeah,
Oh, we should.
we won't talk about it now because it's inappropriate. Inappropriate timing for me personally.
Yes.
But we will talk about how it's a whole new world out there.
Can we tell
Yeah,
that story that you told us last night?
Yeah, we heard an incredible story from Taya.
No, we can't tell
Okay,
it.
we can't.
Not
No,
yet.
down the road, not right
Down
now.
the road, absolutely.
When are
Yeah.
you starting your podcast? You got to have one.
What do you want to talk about?
Well,
I
she's
mean,
gonna be on. She's gonna be on a new podcast coming out on BAM.
Yeah, I mean, you got to start your own podcast.
yeah, I just got to figure out what it is that people want to hear.
I mean,
But
house
wait,
flipping,
but this
real
is
estate
something we could
investing,
talk about.
social media consulting.
Well, what's funny is that I tend to do a lot of the inspirational type content,
Mhm.
but I don't I walk a fine line with it because I get really turned off by some inspirational content.
Absolutely.
We won't name any names, but
Name a couple. That would be good clickbait.
I think that like I was telling Eric this, when you are in a sad, down spot, the last thing you want to be is inspired. Right. So for example, if you're going through a breakup,
I might disagree.
Okay. So hear me out. Let's just say you're going through a breakup
Of course, Byron,
and you're sad and you start seeing happy couples everywhere.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And
Well,
like
that would
birds
gross me out
chirping and you're just
either
kind of
way.
like, fuck these people. Like this is not
There's
beautiful.
nothing worse than a happy
Love
couple.
is dead. Do you know what I mean? And then the same thing
You wanna
goes
see
for
people
when
in pain.
right.
with
You want to see
Yeah.
people like
Beating, like,
hurting
obs-
with you.
What I don't like is seeing people hold hands like nonstop. Like they can't
The PDA, you can't
stop
take it.
holding hands. I can't. It drives me
You
nuts.
can't stand anything. I feel
I'm-
like last night we were at this bar called the Bungalow. Gorgeous bar,
Great
gorgeous
bar. Shout out
people.
to
It's
the
right on
Bungalow.
the ocean, and Byron's just like, "Oh, the people here. Oh, this is horrible."
No, I
They're all
love the people.
26 and 27.
All I
Gorgeous.
said was,
It's like, who cares? This is great. What do you want to do? Sit
I
and
said,
stare at a
Eric,
bunch
did they just get out of
60-year-olds?
class? I mean, it's midnight. I feel like everybody came directly from, I don't know, UCLA or
Such
wherever.
a curmudgeon.
What was the closest college? UCLA?
Yeah,
So-
you
yeah.
said
Yeah.
that.
No. Holding hands. Are you a hand holder?
I'm not really a hand holder.
Makes my hands sweaty. It's like a job, it feels like.
Yeah.
It feels like
You're probably not a snuggler either.
No.
I'm not a
No,
snuggler.
I don't like
Like
snuggle. or-
cuddling every now
I
and
mean, a
then.
little
You a hand
cuddle.
holder?
No, not really.
What I would disagree with, so yeah, if you,
I love where this conversation's
Yeah.
going.
I like-
if you break up with somebody, you don't want to see inspirational couple content. But if you're in a rough spot, I would argue that I do personally enjoy some motivational stuff. Maybe like when I was in a bad spot before I got into real estate, I was listening to a lot of Eric Thomas messaging. That was, about, you've got to want it as bad as you want to breathe. I actually enjoy that kind of stuff.
I'm not
it kinda
talking
gets me
about that.
Motivated, where my momentum will go in the right direction.
I like that kind of stuff. Like I like Mel Robbins.
Yeah,
Right?
oh, she's
Mel Robbins
brilliant.
is
I love
fantastic
it.
because I think that she has a true, authentic vulnerability that she shows that's inspiring.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get up, get out of bed, go.
Exactly. The high five rule, right?
Yeah, I love it.
I'm talking about the more cheesy, repetitive, recycled, canned inspiration that you find on like a repetitive meme
Yeah,
everywhere.
not
That
the broke agent memes.
No, but
that's why I started the broke agent. Seriously, was
Because of that
to
stuff?
counter this stuff was 2015, 16 grind culture motivation. It seemed like real estate agents were really taking that approach from their content. Like that's all they were doing was motivation, putting a quote on it, showing their suits, showing their luxury cars, that lifestyle. And then I was like, I need to do the counter of this because this is not making me feel better as a struggling real estate agent. People want to relate to stuff that's funny and stuff that's happening to, the average agent basically. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's content like that content works for some people, but it really turns me off too. All motivation content turns me off.
You need more
I don't
kindness and empathy.
Me?
Eric.
What are you talking about?
I just wanted to slip
the
that
fuck are you talking about?
that Gary Vee quote in there.
Yeah.
Just-
I mean, Gary Vee does a good job at it. He,
Oh, no,
he
he's good.
motivates in an
course.
authentic way.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
there are people that do a good job.
his
but yeah.
motivation is real, sincere, because it's usually when somebody comes up to him somewhere and he's giving practical advice, like having a one-on-one conversation. They're just like documenting it. I shouldn't say I love it because it gets repetitive, but
yeah. Have you seen the Gary
I
Vee
love the advice.
impersonators?
Oh, he just posted one. He shared one.
I
Oh,
wanna
he
see
did?
that.
That's smart.
It's like the best impersonator.
There's 3 Gary Vee impersonators right
This-
now that are doing an unbelievable job.
I actually got to look
and-
it up so we can watch it after the pod.
He'll do one. They'll be like, "How old are you?" And then he'll say like, "Oh, 35." Like, "Fuck you." He just says that to me. It's so good.
No, the
Like,
the recent one where Gary Vee goes to heaven, like
Uh-huh.
theoretical heaven, and it's
he's
theoretical.
like biting his nails and eating blueberries and
This,
shit.
this
So good.
theoretical God's like, I guess figuring if he's gonna let Gary Vee in, and Gary Vee's like, I got all the time in the world, he's always saying like,
As
you guys,
he's
Yeah,
dead
how
already.
he's like, oh, you're 40, you're so young.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
he's like,
exactly.
he has
You're
so many
80?
years ahead
Yeah.
of me.
30
Have some
years left.
patience, God.
You got your whole
Yeah.
life ahead of you.
Yeah.
It's just hilarious stuff. No, those are really good. But he's playing into. There's one particular one I'm thinking about. I can't think of the guy's name.
I know who wears the hat.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
Yeah.
I just
yeah.
think that in the world of social media, if more people were fearless in the sense of just sharing what it is that they're going through, that to me is more endearing and
Mhm.
and provides more genuine connection on social media, and I think helps you engage on a more personal level when you step out of your own way and show a little bit of vulnerability. It's
I
when you
agree.
act like everything's so perfect, and I think that's the thing that bothers me, when someone's delivering an inspirational message and they're acting like they have the answers and they're acting like they know it all, and I'm like, what the fuck does this person know?
I've been starting to share a little bit more of like my bankruptcy
I
story.
loved
and
that.
I just-
That was honestly one of my favorite clips that you've ever shared.
Yeah, and I've gotten a lot of that feedback. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna lean more into that direction because it does. I got some DMs were like, specific DMs were like, hey, I have a lot more respect for you now.
Yeah.
You seem more real, because sometimes the clips,
Yes.
going back to why we did this podcast in the first place, can get taken out of context of like, he's so far up in the clouds with all this like new stuff and whatever. And I don't give enough of the insight of, some of the struggle I've gone through.
Yeah.
And I just talked about on one clip, $80,000 commission that I lost back in the day. Really back in the day, not like yesterday,
Yeah.
Clubhouse back in the day, but like, I don't know, 8 years ago maybe, because I essentially fired myself, right? I did a poor job of staying in the game, being a pro, communicating to that seller at the level a real professional would communicate. And the
Mhm.
minute he said, why don't you just terminate the contracts? I was like, yeah, screw you, buddy. It's coming over right now. Like trying to show him up. He signed it, and this brewery buys the property. So I didn't talk about in the clip. This brewery buys the property the next day. The new agent, like the next day, the day it got listed, basically.
Mhm.
So it probably took 3 days, new photos, whatever they did. Actually, no, they stole my photos, by the way, which I was a little upset about, but there's nothing I could really do. She sells it to another brewery, and it ends up getting so much PR. Like everybody's writing about this. This brewery, what the heck's the name? Everybody would know this. Treehouse Brewery in the
Okay.
Northeast. Do you guys know that? It's
Mm-mm.
big.
No.
It's real big in the Northeast. And every like article up there the next couple days was me having to read about
It's brutal.
this sale. It was brutal. It was
Yeah.
brutal.
But I think that you sharing some of that vulnerability, I think it helps put the human back in front of this shell of a persona that we put on TikTok and on Instagram. Because I think that, like you said, why we did this podcast today is that people watched my clips, they saw my face, right? And they made an immediate judgment based on my appearance and my voice and and the content of what I'm talking about, right? Within a 5 to 10 second clip,
Yeah.
they're like, I know this girl. I know exactly what she is. I know what she stands
Everything
for
about her,
and all
yeah.
this stuff.
Who she voted for.
Well, right. And what people don't know, right? And I'll reveal some of myself right now. I was raised by a blue collar family. My mom filed for bankruptcy, like single mom. Like we lived in a 1,000 square foot house with one toilet. I was such a bad girl. My mom took my door off when I was 14.
Oh man.
So like you know what I mean? But like but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
I was like, she goes, slam the door one more time and I'm taking it off.
Yeah.
And I was like, bitch. And I slammed the door. And all of a sudden I heard, "Ngang, ngang, 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 ngang." And she starts taking the hinges off my door.
Yeah.
It's like out of a movie.
She did it. And then she took my door and she's like, and walked it out and locked it in the
That is
garage for
brutal.
6 months. But back to like,
Clip
but back to my upbringing, like I had a wonderful childhood, but I have memories of my mom. And I said this on stage, I think with Tom Ferry, I have memories of my mom saying, I've got to bring the check to the landlady. And my brother and I sitting in the back of this old beat up Volvo that used to break down all the time, where my mom would have to get like strangers to come like push the car because she ran out of gas or whatever it was. And it's like pouring down rain and she's like, stay in the car. And she doesn't have the money for rent. And she's knocking on the landlady's door and explaining to her why she can't pay the rent that month. And can you please just give us a little bit more time? And having my mom come back in the car and just like hysterically crying and being like, it was always the landlady. So like, I get why people are triggered on TikTok when they hear landlord, tenant, because
if they're living through the life that you
Yes,
live.
because,
but they
like-
don't understand that you lived
but
it
they
too.
don't understand that I lived
Yeah.
that. And so I think that there's this weird dichotomy that happens. It's like, okay, so not that I lived in poverty. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I
No, I
had a
get that.
wonder, but it's like, but we struggled.
Yeah.
I did not get everything that I wanted, right? We had to really work for it. And I think that built who I am today. Like when I came to LA, I was like over $60,000 in debt. I had overdraft fees all the time.
But your struggle can never be low enough for some of these commenters.
Exactly.
Because somebody's gonna say, "Oh, Tay, you didn't have a door on your bedroom." You know,
I don't
how
have
would
a
you like
better.
to live in a tent?
Yeah,
you know?
and right. And
Exactly.
but you know what? There's always going to be someone with a worse story.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And there are some people who live in extreme wealth who are mentally and physically abused by their family, right? So
Mhm.
someone's always going to have some sort of sob story or struggle. I think that what we need to be with one another is like more compassionate and more patient, loving and kind, and know like, okay, where's the learning opportunity, right? Like if I do want to grow and I don't want to be struggling paycheck to paycheck, like who can I follow on social media, right? Can I follow Mel Robbins? Can I follow Gary Vee? Can I start selling,
Ask
NFTs?
TikTok. They'll tell you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can I start doing all this stuff, not just as a side hustle, but can I start really becoming financially independent so I can break the financial curse of wherever you come from? I mean,
right.
for me, that's where looking at me at face value, people don't see that, but I am so proud of how far I've come in my life that, my family looks at me now and they're like, they cannot wrap their heads around like where I've gone in my career and where it's going. And I want to give that to my
Into your
children.
prime.
Oh, I'm just scratching the surface, babe.
That's right.
It's going to be awesome.
Big things for Taya Dicarlo come in
Yeah.
the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Huge things.
Big, huge.
We were talking about big things last night.
That's a Pretty Woman quote.
We were talking about big things.
All right. We're wrapping
Big
this up.
wieners.
Oh my God.
We're wrapping this up. We were not talking about that. That's the broke
Yeah.
agent.
We're-
That's the broke agent
Good
going
times,
crazy.
Just
though.
a little humor. That's all.
This a little
Good
bit of humor. All right,
times.
Taya, thank you so much
Thank you.
for diving into those comments. I think it was fascinating to
It's very
hear the other side.
fascinating.
On
I'm
part
not
two.
afraid anymore,
Yeah.
by the way.
Don't be afraid.
I won't
That's like,
delete the app.
What is that, like Peter Pan? I'm not afraid anymore. No, what is that?
What?
Hook.
No.
Hook. Home Alone.
Home
Home Alone. That's what it
I'm
is.
not afraid anymore.
That's right. That's what I thought of. But I had
I'm the man of this house.
I had the wrong movie. All right, Eric, the broke agent's melting down. We're out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Mine?
Give us some. Keep.
Yeah,
By
give
the
us
way,
a Kristen Wiig. Give us one more Kristen Wiig.
Oh.
more Kristen Wiig comments and
Kristen Wiig.
Wait, Byron, let her. Yeah.
Oh, you do? Oh, she knows the owner.
Perfect.
There we go. That's it.
Perfect.
That's it.